REMaster Talks with Amit Vats. Today, I have with me an innovator, a serial entrepreneur, a renewable and blockchain and NFT enthusiast. Pleasure to welcome Mr. Gaurav Kedia, Chairman, Indian Biogas Association. Welcome, Gaurav.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Gaurav, could you throw some light on IBA as an association, what it has done in India?
Yeah, great. Yeah. So IBA, which stands for, in fact, Indian Biogas Association. So basically, we are membership-driven organization. We do whatever is required by the members or by the industry in general, you can say. So basically, we work under three different vertical. It's technical vertical, financial vertical, and social vertical. In fact, policy falls under social vertical only. And we try to breeze industry with government as well. So we identify the gap and we try to breeze this so that we see the result on ground. This is something we always say we are married to solution and we want to see the projects on ground, and that's what IBA has done. So we are very strong from the theoretical side as well, but at the same time, what really excites us is the numbers on ground.
Great. Thank you, Gaurav. So, Gaurav, what are the current business opportunities in India in the biosector?
That's a very good question, in fact. When you bifurcate biosector, there is small units which are normally driven by so-called policy, etc. So policy push is there. And in fact, there are bigger unit as well. Let's say when you talk about a distillery, so you see biogas plant over there as well. And again, this is normally being pushed by the policy only. But nowadays, we are even talking about large scale biogas plant based on agricultural waste, based on many other things like municipal solid waste, etc. And this is where a big opportunity lies. Government of India is quite bullish about it. In fact, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is giving a good capital subsidy. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, they are ready to buy any amount of bio CNG you can produce. So we see a very good opportunity, and not only for the larger one, even for the smaller one. Nowadays, we talk about the prefab biogas plant, and there are many companies they are doing very good in this sector, and that's a need of the time because people realize the importance of waste treatment as well. It's not only from the energy perspective, but it's also from the waste treatment perspective. This is where the biosector is getting a push.
Great, great. So, Gaurav, what as an organization, how you're encouraging more entrepreneurs to enter into the bio industry?
Well, that's a million-dollar question, and two of the words which is really motivating us is the decarbonization and circular economy. Because more and more we talk about it, more and more we see that bio industry is something which is really catering towards the decarbonization and the circular economy. Whatever we are doing, we are being a part of the nature, not apart from the nature. And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs see opportunities. So many people want to now decrease their carbon footprint. Many people want to have the sustainable lifestyle. And what better can be there, when you talk about bioindustry.
So, Gaurav, but if I may ask, how can a company develop bioenergy plant in the organization? Hypothetically, say 10 kilowatt plant using the biotechnology, and what would be the kind of commercials which would be involved over there?
That's again a good question. And before I answer this question, let me just tell you there are some misleading terms like this kilowatt. Of course, it's a nice term as such, but we should talk in energy term. So when you talk about, let's say, 10 kilowatt of solar, so normally you are talking on an average for 4 hours, let's say. So basically, you are talking about 40 kilowatt hour of energy which will be produced. Now, in case you're talking about biogas plant over here, when we say 10 kilowatt, the energy output will be 10 kilowatt into 24 hours. That is 240 kilowatt hour we are talking about here. So the difference is almost 6 times. So we need to really be very pragmatic, and we really need to understand the logic behind it. But nevertheless, I come to your question. When you talk about 10 kilowatt, let's say as such, so basically I'm talking about 10, once again, 10 kilowatt into 24 hour of energy. So you need roughly, let's say, 2.5 tons of waste. And if you go for the state of the art plant, so it might cost you almost 70 lakhs or something. And when you talk about the commercials, in general, especially from the return perspective, you need to keep it in mind that here, number one, it is a waste treatment plant. So if you don't treat them, then you need to pay certain amount to the municipal corporation just to dispose the waste. And this amount can vary. For example, in Mumbai, people pay up to 7 rupees per kg. In Delhi, almost 3 rupees per kg. And apart from this, when you really consider, let's say, a biogas amount which you produce from thermal perspective, let's say, and also the fertilizer, so the payback can be around, let's say, 4 year or something. And IR normally I would say up to 20%. But if you are getting 7 rupees per kg, something like this, wow, you'll have totally different figures as such. So this is something we need to keep in perspective in order to really, compare apple to apple when you're really, let's say talking about solar or, for that sake, wind, etc.
Thanks for the insight, Gaurav. In fact, I have a follow-up question on that. So, as an association, is IBA helping out the private sector to get some subsidy from the government?
See, subsidy for me is always a push factor, and market should pull it in the future so that hopefully we don't need subsidy. But of course, that's a different question altogether if we come to that point. But as far as the enabling, how do you say, members or the project promoter to get subsidy is concerned, we definitely train them how to really avail the subsidy as such, and we encourage them to do it directly because nowadays almost everything is online and it's very straight, simple, and transparent as far as the subsidy procedure is concerned. But definitely, as I told you, we try to give enough training to our members and project promoter to get it. And normally, we have not seen any issue as such. But for example, next month we are coming up with ministry, especially to train all the LOI holders right now as far as the bio CNG plants are concerned under sort of the scheme, just to tell them how to avail the subsidy, and they will simply listen from the horse's mouth.
Great, great. Thanks, Gaurav. So, Gaurav, having worked with so many international associations and countries for that matters, which are the best countries who have adapted the biosphere into their ecosystems?
Well, at present, we have one project going on with German Biogas Association. We have MOU with Enama, Italy, Brazilian Biogas Association, Savia from South Africa and Ghana. So definitely we have quite a good experience as far as working with international associations are concerned. And one of the thing which we normally like to really understand and learn and try to adopt that as per Indian condition is the best practices. And it varies from country to country. So for example, Germany, over there you see well-established large-scale biogas plant. And what they could really do, they could really have the proper policy in place, proper financing system in place. But they are mainly selling electricity and heat as such. Of course, the saturation level has come over there, in fact. But nevertheless, but if I adopt the same thing over here in India, I cannot do that because we cannot sell heat, unlike in European country. So we are adopting through bio CNG route. But Germany is definitely one of the country where the ecosystem is quite well in place. Sweden, in fact, you can talk about UK for sure as well. And as I told you, we try to understand the best practices and try to adopt as per Indian need. Again, we bifurcate, as I told you in the first question, under technical, financial, and social vertical.
So, how's India faring as of now into the bio field, Gaurav?
So that's again, $1 million question to really put it in perspective. So when you talk about the small scale biogas plant, let's say very small. So as such, on paper, we talk about almost 5 million such plants. Yeah? How many of them are working properly? That's a different question as such. But when you talk about the large scale biogas plant, now a lot of push is coming from the government side. As I told you earlier, that Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, they are giving a good amount of capital subsidy. MOPNG, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, they are ready to buy the bio CNG, and it's going in the right direction. Government of India is talking about 5,000 such large scale biogas plant in next 5 years, which is now 3 years, in fact. Yeah. So definitely is going in that direction. How much we can achieve is another question, but the whole ecosystem is, is there now. The only thing is that, right now we are facing this COVID situation, but otherwise we are going in the right direction. We are very hopeful that something big will come as far as the bioenergy sector is concerned.
We certainly are looking forward to that, Gaurav. So, Gaurav, as an alumni of IIT and post-graduation from Germany and further faculty at IIM Ahmedabad, what pulled you to the energy sphere and particularly bioenergy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. In fact, and I don't know how to really put it in perspective. But personally, I was working for Shell in Germany for many years, and I understood the economics behind all this oil and gas industry. But one thing what was always pushing me is towards the sustainability. And in Germany, fortunately, I got even the chance to see the other phase, that is the renewable energy, in a very proper manner. And as I told you, I really like this sentence that let's be a part of nature, not apart from nature. And this is one of the factor. And we also talked about decarbonization and also the circular economy. So it's not just to talk about it. There is a saying that when you read something, you gain the knowledge. When you do something, when you do something, you get the feel. So I got this feel about the whole bioenergy sphere, and this feel is something which is really motivating me to create some impact on ground. And yeah, this is how I'm here, especially when you talk about bioenergy.
Great, Gaurav. Great. Thank you so much. So, Gaurav, we would also want to know the other side of Gaurav when Gaurav is not part of biosphere and when he's not, teaching students. So, what exactly is Gaurav doing? What's his stress buster? What does Gaurav like to do?
That's a very good question. Again, so basically, personally, I'm a Brahma Kumari student as well. So I like to meditate, etc. And apart from this, I'm a very social guy. So I try to really interact with a lot of people on very different topic, especially to understand more and more from social point of view. And social engineering is something in a positive manner, of course, is something which excites me. So many times I'm actually working on different social model, really to enable the whole ecosystem or towards the problem solving perspective or goal. So that's what I normally do, apart from what I'm doing. And of course, I'm a family man, so small daughter as well. I try to spend as much time as possible with her.
Great, great, Gaurav. Thank you for giving all that insight in such a short period of time, Gaurav. We wish you the best for your future endeavors, and we look forward to having you again at REMaster Talks with us. Thank you for your time. Please stay safe and please stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thanks as well. It's my pleasure to interact with you. All the best. Thank you. Let's keep the fingers crossed that the situation right now, which is prevailing, will soon get over and we'll come back to the normal. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Inshallah, it will. It will. Thank you, Gaurav.